What's up, guys? It's your boy Simply Soph. Welcome to another episode of Thinking Thursdays. In this week's episode, guys, we're going to be spending some time with Jonathan Goldman. He's the broker and property management at Lilve Oak Real Estate, guys, and we're going to be spending the day with him, getting to know exactly what he does, getting to see what he does on a daily basis, getting the ins and out of what his life looks like. And I guess it's going to be interesting, it's going to be entertaining, and I hope you guys get to learn something and are entertained. He'll be here in a second, but we'll catch you guys later. Deuces. Good, how are you? I just started off fresh. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Good. So we're going to meet with this guy. He is a contractor for a client of mine that bought this, and so just getting it ready to rent.
All right, perfect. Let's check it out. All right, guys, so we're here with Jonathan. We're at this property. So what is this property? Like, what is this in your operation?
Sure.
Like, where are you right now?
So this is a property that a friend of mine bought, and we're going to be managing it through Jonathan Goldman. And so essentially what we've done right now is we've demoed it. We've done the first phase of painting. The painter's out, and now we have kind of the GC coming in to get it turned. But we're putting in a new kitchen, painting flooring, and doing some work in the bathroom. But it's a little 2-bedroom place, so it should be a pretty quick turn. But we're gonna go through and redo all his plumbing and get fresh. So the goal is to minimize maintenance. Once a tenant moves in here, they can feel comfortable and that nothing's gonna break down, and the owner's gonna have a stable property going into having us manage it.
So when you guys picked up this, you said your friend picked up this property, correct? So you guys are managing it and managing the flip at the same time?
Yeah, so we're starting to offer these like project management type services for people that we're managing for. So as a property manager, you normally turn rentals. What we're doing is taking it a little bit further. When an owner picks up a property that might need some work, they don't have to be as scared about jumping into it, because we're gonna be there kind of doing what we're doing now, stopping by on a Monday, making sure things are moving along, and essentially just coordinating people throughout the week. It's kind of a unique service that we're trying to tap into for folks.
Perfect.
Yeah, so this place, the previous owner was self-managed, and this one needs a little bit more than usual. Like, all the doors were punched in, and with like dog shoe marks on all the trim. So we came in and we're fixing up this bathroom. We're gonna run the same full, like, wood look flooring, waterproof, bulletproof kind of stuff, all the way through. So we'll freshen up the bathroom, all new doorknobs. Turnkey rental for somebody, and the goal for this guy is to buy a couple over the next few years that help pay for his kid's college one day, and create some passive income. So, and we helped him track it down, send it to him, said, hey, let's look at this. And he actually picked up a second one at the same time, which we're gonna go check out in just a minute. And we're essentially doing the same thing in there, finish wise. So trying to push rents from severely under rented around, they were only getting like $675 a month. We're gonna push it to about definitely $895, probably $950 a month is the goal. So yeah, let's go over there and check out the other one.
Awesome, let's go. All right, guys, we're back in the car.
We're gonna go by another house, kind of towards Ocean View, but
How often are you in the car usually during the week?
I try to loop a bunch of these in at once. Because the more I can catch, in one big loop, looking at different properties or different things we have going on, or and it's not always the project management stuff. It's a lot of times it's like I had to go measure an opening because somebody's fridge went out, in Colonial Place, and so I had to go run by there and measure the opening, and then call it into the office because the tenant didn't have a tape measure. So we had to rush and kind of go do that so we could order it and get it there. So I did little things like that, or we're managing a new property, we have to go get a parking pass because it's a condo or something like that. So depending on who's driving around, whether it's me or Adrian or other agents in the office that
do the same thing. It's just we just kind of help each other out and drive around to the. It's like, hey, I'm going to be north of 264 today. So I do everything that's north of 264, and then she does everything that's south, and it works out.
So as a like company and individual, I guess, how many like projects or properties are you currently like managing?
So at Lilve Goldman, we manage about 330 units, like just in our property management division.
330, you said?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
We just picked up another. We've sold. It was 2 duplexes and a 6 unit, so we just picked up 10 more units in January from folks that were buying stuff for us to manage. Some of those were turnkey, and some of those are being spruced up like we're doing it. The one we just saw, and then this other one that we're going to. But as far as like project management type stuff, I've got one property that I personally own that my wife and I are renovating, flipping, and then I'm doing another house in the neighborhood where I live that I sold a guy a house, and he had lived there since the 90s, and it was really just kind of like, hey, I don't want to sell it. I've got equity, but I kind of like the idea of having some income into retirement, and the rents are super healthy. So he is. So I helped him. What started out was just going to be like basically painting and refinishing the floors, turned into the kitchen, 2 bathrooms, a bunch of plaster work, and all this other stuff. But it's fine. He's a good guy, and now for us, again, we do it once. We help him get it stable, and it's higher rent, which means more management fees, and better quality tenants, less work orders. So it's really we're starting to integrate that into hopefully our business model. But again, it's figuring out what that service is worth to the consumer, and to us is kind of the rub that we're figuring out right now. So we'll check out this other one.
All right, awesome.
Window units. This one has central AC. It's got a gas furnace, which is nice. It has new windows already. The other one, we've got a window guy coming in to put new windows. So this one is, get this out of the way. This one's getting spruced up as well. So this is actually all getting kind of moved around, and we still haven't decided where stuff's gonna go, because we've got electrical here, we've got electrical here for a range, so we have options. There used to be a wall oven that was abandoned, and then the plug was there, so we're trying to figure out the best flow. You get one shot to redesign the kitchen over, so we kind of want to do it right. And then there's more electrical here, so we're like, so they had a dryer here, I'm assuming, because the washer is here, but what we're gonna do to create more space in the kitchen and have a room for a table is, delete that electrical outlet and move it up here, so we can put a stackable washer and dryer, so now you have at least a place for a little 2-seater table, or one of those rolling islands or something. So, but one thing with these, like, you don't wanna, it's always like, you don't wanna bust into them, not knowing if there's a bunch of electrical running through it. So this one's kind of in the same shape. I mean, it's all new. We're getting ready, prepping all this tile to get reglazed, and then this has got all new valves going in, just like the other one. So, but yeah, so very similar. I mean, to the other one, two little bedrooms, and it's got a great side yard already fenced in. We're gonna complete the fence and maybe replace a section, but it's in good shape. Coming in once a week and kind of seeing what's on the docket for the week, what needs to happen when. There were some electrical issues with the break, like we need some new, there were some actually breakers missing from the box, and so there's no power right now, which means there's no heat. So we've got all the water turned off, so there's no issues while it's in the middle of winter. But we got an electrician coming out tomorrow when everything comes in at the supply house, and they'll come out here tomorrow and get it all tightened up, and then we'll be pretty much rolling at that point with them being able to come back in and use their tools and plug in the tile saw and all that. So
Okay.
it'll start to be a lot quicker. Yeah, 'cause then I can get my painter back in, put it back together, and
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Thinking Thursdays. Once a week, we come together with people who are crushing it in their fields because we've come to learn that success leaves clues. It's our duty to share as many of these success principles with as many people as possible. I'm your host, Simply Soph, joined by my co-host, Vic.
hey guys.
Hey, so, who are we having today?
So today we have a really, really great guest. So we're going to be having drinks with Jonathan Goldman.
Okay.
Jonathan is broker and owner of Lilve Oak Real Estate. Jonathan is also a partner of a very large property management firm in the Hampton Road area. Not only that, but Jonathan is really unique because he has a really great knack for bringing investors together with their needs, and he does more of a all-inclusive real estate company that goes from beginning to end.
Okay.
And so Jonathan is a very successful person. We're excited to have him on the show today.
100%.
So let's call him over for some drinks. What do you say?
Yeah, cool, for sure. Yeah, let's do
Hey
it.
John, come on over.
Hey man.
Hey,
Hey
what's
guys,
up?
how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Nice to see you.
Good to
John,
see you
good to
guys.
see you, man. Thanks for
Good to see
coming
you.
out to have
Yeah.
drinks with us today.
Absolutely.
So just to kind of a little bit of introduction, John, tell us about yourself and your story of success.
Sure. So I'm Jonathan Goldman, 31 years old, originally from Augusta, Georgia, but moved to Virginia Beach about 8.5 years ago, 9 years almost. Right out of college, graduated in 2009, not the best time to graduate if you're a business major, especially if you majored in real estate. So at Georgia, majoring in real estate, they were grooming us to basically get forced into Atlanta, Charlotte, all the big cities, working for these corporate REITs, and they weren't really hiring at that time. And a lot of the good thing about the economy being crap was that a lot of the big developers and bigger players in these smaller markets had time to actually sit down with you. So right out of college, I landed doing HOA management for an attorney in Augusta.
Homeowners
So-
Association?
Yeah, managing homeowners associations, condo associations. So that was unique because he was he thought outside the box. He normally just did real estate closings, which weren't happening at that time. He had neighborhoods that weren't developed, and it was a cross sell to manage these neighborhoods. And then when the market came back, they've been seeing our logo, and it would then drive in business for closings when they came back around. So I started in that department with another lady, and we had like 2 or 3 neighborhoods over the course of 2 years. We were managing about 31 or so. And then I had an opportunity to essentially move to Virginia Beach and get my foot in the door doing more, sales and property management, because I didn't want to do, manage HOAs forever. I wanted to continue to grow and do more. So that kind of groomed me for stepping into property management. I started as, entry level, let's make, 25 grand a year and, make some commission. And so quickly got my license, started selling stuff, and realized, hey, this is a way to make some extra money.
Right.
Leasing as well, so we managed 100 and some properties at that point at Leland, where I started and where I still am, and my partner John and I are continuing to grow it, as Victor said. So started selling more. Then it was just me, and then it was me and an assistant, and then it was me and an assistant and someone else, and then it was someone else helping with leasing. So now we have this team of people, and there's a nice balance. And that's the 30-second story of how we got
So a lot of growth,
a
a lot of growth,
a lot of growth,
time.
a lot of growth in a short period of time. We probably tripled in size,
Wow.
revenue-wise, since we started.
And tell us about Lilve Oak, and that came about.
Yeah, so my wife Kelly went to Baylor for
interior design for her degree, and then again the economy wasn't great. She went back to VCU and got her master's in graphic design. No, one of the two. Graphic design for undergrad, master's in interior design. So we got 2 boys, so she's been at home with the boys for a little while, and we're like, man, we're helping other investors find houses, rehab them, sell them, and it's like, okay, well, I know I can do this. I've got the knowledge, etc. Let's give it a shot. It's always been a dream. So last November we started our first project, and by April it sold full price. We got a lot of good feedback on it, and so it was like this moment of, oh crap, like we did it. At the same time, it's like, hey, like this is our dream. Let's help other people who just started with this little amount of like, hey, here's my life savings, plus credit cards, plus whatever, Home Depot, no interest, and we created this small chunk of cash that of course we got to pay taxes on, but you create this thing that then rolls into the next one, makes the next one easier.
Wow.
So it was this kind of this dream come true moment of, we can do this. This is what I've always wanted to do. And so, the whole goal along, whether it's managing someone's property or selling them something, you're creating, the fun part is creating value for someone. So you're creating, something a little bit better, or preserving what is probably the largest investment anybody's ever going to make.
Right.
So.
Actually, I have a question though.
Sure.
I mean, you said, and that's kind of going back to how it started. You
Right.
said you majored in real estate.
Right.
That's not the regular route for most. Like,
Sure.
I didn't know that was a major when I
Right.
was going to college. Like, what got you into like thinking of real estate?
So when I was in high school, I did like a senior project thesis thing that they had as a senior in high school. You job shadow a particular career, and I job shadowed a local agent, and I'd always just kind of had a knack for houses. I was always interested in development in particular. So when I was going to school, I was like, well, do I want to be, like, I want to be a builder, I want to be a developer, I want to do big things. Well, I started out doing not as big of things, which has been very good to me. It's been very fulfilling. And so now it's a matter of like, hey, I'm glad I started where I was, because you pick up so many more skill sets and communication with learning how to communicate with clients and dispute resolution and all that.
Right.
The normal like general business skills being in property management in particular, but just dealing with people on a daily basis. So
Wow.
yeah.
So I mean, it sounds like, in a short period of time, you've had a lot of success, and a lot of success. With,
Uncomfortable to hear, but yeah, I mean, it's I appreciate it.
but
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. You've built up a big operation in a short period of time, and everyone sees the successes, but they really don't see the failures. So,
Right.
so tell us about your biggest failures and how you kind of came to learn from them.
I think one of the biggest things is not look as you grow and you realize. My biggest failure was initially thinking I could do it all myself, and so while I may be able, of course, like no one's ever going to do it exactly the way that you do it. So as soon as you learn how to teach people what you're trying to achieve, and as long as all those goals are aligning, the sooner you learn how to do that, the better. Because what I ended up doing was, and it's stumbling into leadership. It's kind of how I put it. I never planned to manage people. I wanted to be kind of like, hey, I'm just going to do it myself.
Right.
And
You adjust and keep moving
adjust
forward.
to keep moving, yeah, and stay up late and get it done after hours if I have to. But it's you can't feed. Listen to a podcast probably. I think it was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, which is really about when it switched in my head of how, hey, if we're going to continue to grow and do this, I've got to figure out how to manage people and how to empower people to make decisions on their own within the guidelines of all staying on the same path.
Really growing your team and guiding them in a
Yeah.
path that leads you towards success.
Yeah. So if you come along and like, okay, there's a new employee, they have to get trained. Well, they can't. You can't just keep giving someone an answer. It's actually based on what they're saying, it's a completely different side of the brain. So like, you give somebody an answer, they're not really, they just know, if you keep giving somebody an answer over and over, well, they don't need to learn it because they know they can just come to you and answer it.
Right.
So I think that was one of my biggest failures was figuring that out, and it took me longer than I'd like to figure that out. So I think that was one. Another failure I would say would be saying yes to too many things, which kind of goes on it kind of piggybacks on the not giving people answers or trying to do it all yourself. You're saying yes to too many things. So prioritize the things that matter and the things that are profitable and the things that create value. Kind of going back to that.
Value.
And
That's a good key.
Yeah. So and anything that doesn't do that either needs to be cut entirely or reevaluated, or it's hard to say. It just goes down to back to just making. I learned later than I'd like to how to prioritize the things that I wanted to do.
Right. Sometimes you really have to, because sometimes you have so many things you're juggling in life. You have to set priorities,
right,
and set your list of priorities to make sure that you get things done. Because small goals, lead to larger goals that are obtained. Right. So you chop it down little by little. It's a good lesson to learn, especially like that with time. Now, you've reached a high level of success, but if you had to just go back to the beginning, and if you had to start up all over again, what would you do?
It's hard to say. I mean, I'm not a guy that regrets a whole lot. So I think I think I needed to start the way I did. I think I did the best I could with where I landed. The initial upset of, oh, I'm not going to go do all these things that have been hammered in my head. Like, hey, you've learned all about cap rates, and you've learned how to calculate how many how many grocery stores need to go within a 2-mile radius based on demographics. Like, you've learned all this stuff, but now you're going to go tell somebody to move their trash can, from the street on time. And so it was kind of this, that
kind of humbling, huh?
Yeah, it was like, oh, I know all this stuff, which I don't know half of it now, I'm sure, but it's it was a humbling moment. So I think to do it all over again, I would maybe change my attitude in the beginning about it being more teachable. I think making the decision to move here was a great decision. Yeah. Besides it actually having 4 seasons a year instead of summer and January in Georgia. Love the area, invested here, and
still going strong.
Yeah, still going strong, and that's what Live Oak's about. Is like pursuing your goal. Hey, like I want to get into real estate, but I don't know where to start. So if you got $20, $30, $50, $100,000, wherever you're at,
you can help.
Come here because hey, we scraped together our down payment on our first house. It was original owner. It was like 2 miles this way, but original owner house from the 50s. We had, it was me and my wife, double income, no kids, so we were just hemorrhaging money into this house, fixing it up. But when we sold it, it slingshotted us into the neighborhood where we wanted to be long term, and also enabled us to start flipping houses, by getting a HELOC and tapping into some of that equity. So there's some
strategies that you use.
Some strategies where you start with this much. Okay, well here's your 3-year plan with this. Whether you're buying a house to live in or an investment property, there's always people say, oh, is this a good price for this house? Well, what's your plan?
You can have a vision before
Yeah.
you start doing stuff.
Yeah, are you planning to hold this for 5 years? Well, okay, let's look at maybe there's a lending strategy that makes more sense. Hey, there were some people that you never hear of adjustable rate mortgages much anymore, but there was a guy that's like, hey, I'm only gonna be here 3 years and I want to sell it. I think the market's gonna go up. So he went with an adjustable mortgage as opposed to the fixed rate that everybody's crazy over.
Right.
And it ended up being better. It all depends on your strategy.
Okay.
And so that's kind of like, hey, that's what Live Oak is. Hey, let's sit, let's talk. And the answer might be, hey, you're not quite there yet, but here's how we get there
Right.
to make that
Providing
first
that
purchase. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, man, this is Bland's.
Bland's, yes sir.
Why is this is your signature drink for this show?
Well, I like bourbon because it's a little bit like candy. It's warm. It's a great fall winter drink. It's a good. This in particular is not a good mixer. Please don't mix this with anything. But
It's a southern drink.
it's a southern drink,
I'm a
and
southern boy.
I've always enjoyed it. Yeah,
It's a signature
sweet,
drink of
goes
the
down
week.
smooth,
So.
keeps you warm.
Oh yeah.
I feel warm.
I feel warm in this area. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So I guess we're going to be moving to the segment of where we kind of throw out that little wild card, what we're calling it, guys. So we have a set of questions that were kind of placed in this small bowl, and we're going to have Jonathan pick one out, and we're just going to throw one curveball out and then see what he has to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. I can't blame you guys.
You wanna
Actually,
read it?
I don't even remember what
Let
it
me
is.
see it. We'll read it for you.
Oh, that's an easy one.
Yeah, this is pretty simple.
Should
We
we
might have to
that
give.
one?
We're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna ask you another one. Real
Okay.
quick. All right. So outside of work, what else do you do on your spare time?
Outside of work, I've got a 4.5 and a 2-year-old boy.
Busy.
So
Yeah.
busy, and they're very busy kids. So, we basically just romp around in the yard, play outside on the weekends and the evenings. Save my wife when I come home. But whether it's, go to soccer practice with them, we live on there's like a small. We live on a cove of this lake, so we go fishing in the backyard.
A lot of family time.
Yeah. Oh, actually, one unit. So we go to Sugar Shack Donuts. This is a unprompted plug, but so every Saturday for the past, I think 3.5 years, without fail, if we're in town, we go every Saturday morning about 7:30 to Sugar Shack Donuts right there near Pleasant Bridge.
Family traditions.
And each boy gets a sprinkled donut, and I get a Samoa.
Sugar Shack, if you guys see this, reach out to us.
Right,
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely like
Mention
to
it.
support local businesses.
That's right.
All right, so
Actually, one question, or was that?
we got one more question I'm going to ask.
Actually,
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So the questions that we kind of went through today kind of gives an insight about Jonathan, but John, we really want our viewers to get, actionable steps
Sure.
that could potentially, catapult them into the success that someone like you has reached today. So what are the next 3 actionable steps our viewers can take, in order to get to the same level that you've been?
I'd say, surround yourself with smart people. People that are actually doing what they say they're doing. That have the resume. It's I call it the HGTV complex. There's a lot of people that think they know what they're doing, and they may not do it the best way. But I mean, I would say, one of the biggest things would be to surround yourself with smart people and just soak up information
Right.
from anyone you can.
Elevate yourself with
Yeah.
the people surrounding
Right,
you.
right. It's something practical where, if you're in a position where you're at now, always ask for more wherever you're at, and not volume, not busy work. Like, I want to do more than I'm doing now, whether you're an admin assistant in an office or making copies. Hey, I want to do more. Like, hey, this is done. Can I do more?
Be valuable.
Yeah, be valuable. Make yourself. Create value for yourself. Go back to creating value. That applies to real estate and life. So, constantly learn, increase your skill set. You've never seen someone successful that was disorganized.
Right.
Anything you do in a hurried manner or an unprepared manner is not your best, and people know that. So, I think it's that's something very practical. Which no matter what your career is right now, get organized, set your goals, and get organized. Whether it's for the day, for the quarter, for the next 5 years. When it could be investing. It could be, hey, I'm gonna pick up my jeans off the floor because my wife keeps telling me put them in the freaking laundry. That was unprompted. But, anyway, so it could be anything, and you can make it as big as you want. And if setting goals is this daunting task, again, there's a lot of value in just, hey, this is my goal for the week, on an actual task basis. here are all the things I need to get done this week. Prioritize, okay, here, you know, so you have your week in review on Monday. Here's things I need to get done today. Here's bigger picture, what has to get done this month? And then what are my quarterly goals, and revisit those, you know, as you're nearing those mile markers. So.
Wow.
Wow.
That's wonderful advice, huh?
100%. Like the actionable advice, actually, just like getting organized, like knowing what you have to do,
Right.
like, planning it out. So, guys, honestly, that was the show for today. That was Thinking Thursdays. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We're coming back again with you guys with another episode next week. Jonathan, thank you for being here.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
for joining us.
Thanks for having drinks with us. I appreciate it. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
See you guys next week.